FLCL was one of the first anime I watched, during my golden age years when the world was limitless and everything was exciting. Watching some of my first anime like Naruto and DBZ, Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and many more shows. It was around this time that I started watching FLCL, and it was almost like a dream for 10-year-old, 8-year-old me. Anyway, I couldn't believe it. No idea what I was watching, but goddamn, it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Now imagine my excitement when I learned that they were going to make a season 2 after 18 years. But then, the doubt started to hit. How could you possibly recreate such a masterpiece? Fuck you, 8.1 is really good. How could the show possibly live up to the hype? Would my childhood nostalgia have ruined the show for me? Could I ever love something as much as I loved it when I was 8 years old? Am I just too jaded? Fooly Cooly Progressive is a fun show. My favorite parts were the ones with Haruko in it. I love the big reveal where we find out that the terrible teacher who could give two shits about the students is actually Haruko in disguise. And I loved when the show started to, actually fully Cooly it up and get wacky and eccentric. But that was really it. Fun show, but there were things I didn't like about it, like the MC, she was kinda boring. She didn't ruin the show for me, but she just didn't have much going for her. The show kept hinting that she was, repressing herself to the point that it was destroying her, with her decaying body and stuff like that. And I thought at some point that she would, come out of her shell, and when she did, it was pretty, okay. And I thought the V-Chick only put a damper on things and ruined the fun, that was her purpose, the fun police. And this kid, But what I'm trying to say is, Haruko got a pretty good workout carrying the show on her back. I could go more in depth about the problems I have with the show, but my problems with the show is less about how I feel about the characters and the writing, but more that this show just doesn't feel like the next Fooly Cooly show, a successor to the tale of Haru and Naruto. I watched another video of a YouTuber comparing FLCL and Progressive, and he thought the same thing, that the original was better, which isn't the point, but I just need to feel validated sometimes, guys. But he asked, what does it mean to be Fooly Cooly? Is Fooly Cooly about the guitars, is it the pillow soundtrack, or is it that thing they do when someone gets hit by a car? To me, Fooly Cooly was a passion project, lightning in a bottle. It was so experimental, and it looks like the team had a lot of fun making the show. And you know this because the studio came out and said that Fooly Cooly was a testing ground for many different types of animation and techniques. It was so unique and had its own style, adhering to no common rules. I'm not good at breaking down scenes, but just look at this.
Yeah, cooly is you do it like this with your hands, see?
All right. I'm already in that kind of relationship with Takun here.
Relationship? How do you mean?
Mouth to mouth.
I almost feel like Fooly Cooly is iconic in the way that it sets itself apart from not only the shows around this time, but even the current shows. But with FLCL Progressive, it just feels so manufactured. It feels like a higher up came down and said, make me another one of those, pointing to, the Fooly Cooly poster. The studio was like, sure, seems easy enough, because I'm sure they know, or at least can see what people liked about FLCL, and they tried to replicate it, but that's the problem. Fooly Cooly to me was in its own lane, doing its own thing. And that's what was so great about it. You can't replicate passion or uniqueness, because by replicating it, it stops becoming what made it so great, just a shadow of what it once was. I wanted Progressive to go above and beyond what Fooly Cooly was. I wanted something new and exciting, but Progressive felt a bit too tame. The art style was too safe, the characters less interesting, but at the same time trying to incorporate things from God, Jesus. I'm not saying FLC anymore, I'm just gonna say Fooly Cooly. But at the same time trying to incorporate things from Fooly Cooly like this, or Fooly Cooly isn't just some well-structured story that you can reproduce like Death Note or even the Code Geass. By the way, whatever happened to that second season of Code Geass? It's been like a year since it got announced. The thing that would do another season of Fooly Cooly justice is to make one just as wild and experimental as the first one. I even rewatched the first episode of season 1 after finishing Progressive just to see if my nostalgia was acting up. But the first episode was just as fun as I remembered, and I started to cry. Oh god. In all seriousness, maybe there's nothing that the show could have done that would make me / us happy. Maybe deep down we're just trying to recapture our childhood, and those moments will never come back. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you just want that special feeling again, that excitement of discovering a new amazing anime for the first time, being introduced to new genres and mediums. If the show had done what I wanted from the get-go, would I have liked it just as much as Fooly Cooly, if not more? I mean, I'd like it a hell of a lot more than I do now, but that's besides the point. So is it just my nostalgia? In a world where Fooly Cooly didn't exist and Progressive was the only thing we had, would people like it as much? You can make a case for either side, but the only thing we know is that Fooly Cooly Progressive currently sits at a 7.0 on my anime list, while Fooly Cooly sits at above an 8.0. And maybe it's not just us older fans not liking the show, but it just wasn't that good. I don't know. It was hard trying to write the script for this video because it's hard to script out the excitement for that you had as a child watching Fooly and like I just can't really explain why Progressive didn't live up to that without being vague. Like, you know, it wasn't experimental, it was too safe, you know. Hopefully you guys got that point of what I was trying to say. Have you seen Fooly or Progressive? If you have, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Did you enjoy Progressive more, about the same? Do you agree not as much love went into Progressive? If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you can get notifications when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.